and all those kind of things have to occur. But they are an excellent football team, and they can go as far as they want to go.
And we may see a little history today. Phil Simms is starting. He may be the quarterback for the next 10 years for the Giants.
I saw him against New Orleans, liked his feet, liked his hands, and he's got a very good arm along with it.
We'll watch him, Phil Simms, number 11, and let's go down on the field now as we get ready for the opening kickoff. The Giants will be in the blue, dark jerseys, Tampa Bay in white, trimmed in orange. They're going to receive. Getting overcast here and darker. A slight breeze, crosswind favoring neither team. Joe Danello will be kicking off for the Giants. And deep will be Ragsdale for Tampa Bay. George Ragsdale. That's the man they want to have the ball. Let's see what Danello does. And here we go. And the kick's high. It's deep. Ragsdale floating in the end zone. And he'll down it for the touchback. Good kickoff by Danello. Tampa Bay on offense features young Doug Williams at quarterback. Rookie Jerry Eckwood, a sensation so far, with Ricky Bell, the running backs. Isaac Higgins and Morris Owens are the wide receivers, and the tight end is Jimmy Giles. And this club leads the National Conference in rushing. There's the line. Revis, Horton, Wilson, Roberts, and Hannah. And the Giants are down in a three-man line. A little surprise here at the opening. Ricky Bell hammered down to the 19-yard line by Dan Lloyd. It'll be second down, 11 to go.
That
Giants
time,
ball their own 19.
That time, Curt, they were in a formation that they don't use a lot. They had the fullback behind the quarterback and the halfback to the right, with the idea of running to the right and getting a little bit more punch and power straight ahead with Ricky Bell. They didn't succeed in doing a good job in making any yardage, however, on the play.
Mendenhall did not start. He has back spasms. Kelvin Miller's in there. Second down, 11 for Tampa Bay. Just short of their own 20. Eckwood. He runs into a round defense. Carson led that charge. Brad Van Pelt, Harry Carson, Brian Kelly are the linebacker, the strongest portion of the Giant club. Jackson and Rhodes the corners. Reese and McKinney are the safety men.
The Giants usually employ a 4-3 defense, meaning 4 linemen, 3 linebackers, and 4 defensive backs. They started this game with a 3-4-4, which is unusual for them, and it looks like it's creating a little problem in the first 2 plays of this game against for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Martin, Kelvin Miller, and Jeter, the down line. Tabor goes in for the 4-man rush. Third and 11. Doug Williams throws the bomb, and it is picked away. A great save there by Terry Jackson, intended for Morris Owens, who had a step on him. And Jackson just picked it away. Number 24.
Terry Jackson really did a good job of covering on the play. He was running downfield step for step, and he didn't look back at the quarterback, which is so important. And right about the time the receiver was ready to reach for the ball, he saw it, reached up into the air and knocked it down. A great play by Terry Jackson.
Tom Blanchard is in punt formation. Dwight Scales and Terry Jackson. Double safety for the Giants. Blanchard, a wobbly kick. Scales waits for it. 48, 50. He's to the 45, and a flag goes down. Scales on a 7-yard return. Giants ball, and we'll see what the flag's about. Danny Reese made the tackle, with Nafziger also in there with him. This one's going to be marked off against the Giants, probably a clip. Goes back to the Giants 36.
Personal foul, clipping, number 22 on the run back. First down.
That's called on Ray Rhodes, a clip. Giants ball, their own 36-yard line. Aaron Brown has replaced Dewey Selman as a starter inside linebacker on defense. And here's the rookie, Phil Simms from Morehead State. Up down. You'll remember this game, his first start in the National Football League. Play action pass. Out it goes. It's complete to the 40. And out of bounds is Ken Johnson. Rolled out by Leroy Selman. And they really got to Simms on that first play.
Curt, that was a play-action pass from the I formation. A good fake, good setup by Simms, the young rookie quarterback from Morehead State. Throws the ball into the right flat to Ken Johnson, who makes a nice reception. And the Giants are moving on the very first play.
Now penalty coming up. This may be a hit out of bounds.
Number 57 defense, unnecessary roughness, first down.
That's called on the left outside linebacker, David Lewis. Unnecessary roughness after the receiver Johnson went out of bounds. So the Giants have the ball now on the Tampa Bay 41-yard line. First down. Running backs are Billy Taylor and Ken Johnson. Inside the 40 and to the 36-yard line is Ken Johnson. The Giants' strategy today against the 3-4 of Tampa Bay will be trying to run inside the tackles.
Well, I think any time that you play against a 3-4, you really have to do a good job of running at the two linebackers inside who are playing off the ball. In conjunction with that, the way the Tampa team plays, you have to exercise good discipline and a lot of patience. You've got to travel slowly and use high percentage plays, run-wise and also passing-wise.
I just took a look at the Giant offensive lineup. Second down 5. Now they call a timeout. The rookie came up to the line of scrimmage with a mix-up. So he wants to be sure they know what they're doing. And Simms goes to the sideline. With the score, Tampa Bay nothing, and the New York Giants nothing. Those three defensive linemen in Tampa Bay were all #1 picks. Great linebackers, Lewis, Aaron Brown, Wood, Johnson. Big secondary, not very fast, but big and hard hitter. White, Washington, Cotney, and Brown. Second down 5, Giants ball, Tampa Bay 36. Billy Taylor was hit by Leroy Selman, and number 63, fans, you're looking at maybe the best defensive end in professional football.
I don't think there's any question about the fact that he is and earned the right to be one of the very finest defensive ends in the National Football League.
This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Giants and the National Football League is prohibited. 3rd and 5 for the Giants on the Tampa Bay 36. Prince Valiant, they call Phil Simms. Look at him. He looks like about 18 years old. He's got a rush on him. Throws the ball to Billy Taylor. Taylor's clawing his way, trying to get that first down. Cecil Johnson hopped on him, the right outside linebacker. And the officials are calling time. Let's see if we get a measurement.
They've got a very intelligent plan for the game. They're going to throw to the backs, let the linebackers get good depth. The defensive backs get good depth. They try to throw in front of the linebackers. Chambers almost knocked the ball on that time, but the ball was caught by Johnson, and he's very close to making the first down, but a very high percentage play that was employed by the New York Giants.
They have it by inches. Giants second first down. They're on the Tampa Bay 31-yard line. We have no score, 11:36 remaining in the first period.
You know, Curt, the Tampa team plays a very loose zone defense. They give you stuff inside and short, but it's very difficult to do anything big against this Tampa defense the way they play.
Johnny Perkins spread to the right, Ernest Gray to the left. First down, Giants. And hitting straight ahead is Ken Johnson. That's the strategy, knifing inside the tackles. Bill Kohler, the nose tackle, Montana State graduate, #1 pick for the Bengals. They let him go. He's now with Tampa Bay, and they like him there. He's very quick in the middle of that three-man line.
Yes, and the great thing about him was, really, he was the #1 draft choice for the Cincinnati Bengals, and they were able to get him, and he's doing a good job as a starter for the Tampa team.
Cincinnati's had a lot of #1 picks and have left the club. Second down 8. And now Phil Simms is calling another timeout. Now, we'll talk about this when we come back. Giants have already used 2 timeouts early in the game. No score. 10.5 minutes to play in the first period. The Giants have already utilized 2 timeouts. Indecision, and young Simms wisely took the time rather than bungle the play. Carrying the ball is Johnson with a flag down, a fumble, and a scramble. Ken Johnson received the handoff. He plowed inside the 25, but a flag is down. Cecil Johnson, the right linebacker, made the stop. All right. What's happening there with these 2 timeouts, Hank?
Well, what happened actually is that they're sending...
Illegal motion, offense, refused, Tampa Bay's ball, first down.
They're sending the plays in with hand signals from the sideline, and sometimes if the quarterback has a problem reading those signals, why, he's very wise to call timeout, not to blow the play, but to make sure that the signal is straight, and that's what happened on the 2 penalties that were incurred by the New York Giants, because evidently the young quarterback didn't get the hand signals properly.
Giants fumbled. Wally Chambers recovered. Our first turnover. Tampa Bay's ball. They were stopped on their first series. They have the ball on their own 24-yard line. Doug Williams of Grambling College. He can throw the ball 60 or 70 yards. And that is Jerry Eckwood, the rookie of Arkansas, who's had 2 100-yard games already. And he's stopped by Harry Carson, the middle linebacker. Morris Owens comes out. Rookie Gordon Jones of Pittsburgh is in. McKay uses his wide receivers to bring the plays in.
Eckwood is playing with an injured left wrist, and it might be a problem as this game goes along, trying to keep hold of the football or catch passes.
Second down 8. Tampa Bay on their own 26. Jerry Eckwood brought down by George Martin, the left end, and the Giant defense is giving up ground grudgingly. So now, spotted on the 30 of Tampa Bay, and they're faced with a 3rd and 4. And Morris Owens, number 85, brings the play in from the Tampa Bay bench. No score. First period, 9:28 to go.
One thing I'm sure we can look for as the game progresses, I'm sure they're going to work on Rhodes and also the quarterback Jackson, and I think Jimmy Giles will have a chance to work on the strong safety when they have good field position.
3rd and 4. Deep drop back. The pass is complete, and they're short of the first down. They hit the tight end, Giles, 88, from Elkhorn State. Didn't get deep enough. Well, yeah, I think he did. Now they say he fell forward. And it will be a Tampa Bay first down. He just got there.
Yeah, that's all that counts. And really, Jimmy Giles is a very unheralded tight end at this stage of his young career. He's an excellent football player, great blocker, but a terrific catcher, too. And I'm sure they're going to use him a lot in this game today to take advantage of what the way the safety plays, Beasley Reese, number 28.
Williams has hit only 38% of his passes, but he's tied with Roger Staubach for touchdown passes with 8. Tampa Bay goes for the big play. They're running Eckwood. Eckwood filled at the 35 by Brad Van Pelt. Number 10, the left linebacker. That's no gain. It'll be 2nd and 10 for Tampa Bay.
That was a wasted play, really, because Beasley Reese, the strong safety, was almost on the line of scrimmage. There's no way in the world that you can run outside with him that close to the line of scrimmage. They ran the play anyhow, and for that reason, they didn't succeed in making any yardage.
Atlanta 7, Green Bay nothing. First period. Bartkowski, 9-yard pass to Jenkins. Our first score of the day. Second down 10. Tampa Bay on their own 35. Scoreless game here. Williams fires, complete to Giles at tight end. You were right, Mr. Stram. Giles, the last 2 games, I don't think has even caught a pass. They've used him mostly for blocking, but they've already gone to him twice today.
Yes, he's only caught 6 passes going into this game. He's already caught 2 already in this one so far. But he's a tremendous athlete. Great speed, great hands, excellent blockers, I mentioned earlier. And they're going to use him and feature here, I'm sure, the way this defense is set up. They'll be using him a lot in this game.
They're taking what the Giants will give them. First down 10. Tampa Bay in the New York 48.
See if they run right.
They did. That's Ricky Bell. Bell over the 50 to the 49 of the Giants. Ricky Bell's having his best year. This is his third with Tampa Bay because he now has Eckwood to complement him. That makes Bell a better fullback. The other fella, Eckwood, can go wide. Opens the middle up a little bit for him. Plus, Bell is a tremendous blocker and does a lot of lead blocking for Eckwood.
The one thing about the I formation, usually the fullback is more of a blocker than he is a runner. Now they have an outside-inside tandem that's very dangerous, and that's an outstanding dimension.
Second down 6. Tampa Bay in the Giant 48. Play action pass. He throws it deep down the middle, and it is incomplete. Racing down there was Morris Owens of Arizona State, who has averaged 19 yards a catch. McKay says, I don't like to dump the ball off to the backs in those little passes. I'm a big play man, and I want a big play quarterback. And Doug Williams has the arm to give me those big plays.
Well, the way you get big plays in professional football is to have a very outstanding running game, and then conjunction with that, throw play-action passes. That's exactly that was. And he elected to throw the ball into the post that time. Jimmy Giles, the tight end, was so open he looked like he ran out of the bleachers, but he didn't see him and didn't look to him and try to get the ball into the post instead.
Third down 6. Tampa Bay on the New York 48. Williams steps up. And that pass was behind the rookie Gordon Jones, who is breaking into the middle, and Tampa Bay comes up short with a 4th and 6 now. Tom Blanchard will be back in a punt formation. He's averaged 38.5 yards a kick, no blocks. By the way, he's the oldest player on the Tampa Bay team. He is 30 years old.
The reason that play didn't succeed, Gordon Jones, the young receiver, drifted on the curl-in pattern. Instead of staying put, he drifted to the inside. The ball was thrown behind him, and for that reason, they didn't connect on the play.
Blanchard lofts it up. Fair catch call on the Giant 8-yard line. Some of the fans didn't like that. They thought he had running room. Terry Jackson. They wanted to see a run back. So the Giants take over, pin back against their own goal line with a score, 0-0. That's the lineup tomorrow night on CBS. Incidentally, the 13th Annual Country Music Association Award will be hosted by Kenny Rogers. White Shadow, MASH, and the Country Show on CBS Monday night. First down, New York Giants, their own 8-yard line. Billy Taylor, Ken Johnson, the running back. Behind rookie Phil Simms. Simms off to Taylor. Taylor over the 10. Maybe to the 12-yard line. Wally Chambers has left the game for Tampa Bay. Bill Kohler goes to left end. And Randy Crowder, ex of Penn State, is now in at nose tackle. It is second down. 6 to go. Giants ball their own 12. Scoreless game. 5:45 to play in the first period. Ray and Perkins are the wide receiver. A rollout. We got the passing. Nice control out to Ken Johnson, number 48. Giants using a short passing game, much like we saw last week Joe Theismann executed with the Washington Redskins.
Yes, but he at that time he rolled out to his right. He was very careful. He flooded the zone, which means you put 3 receivers on the same side with 2 defensive people covering. He hit Johnson on the right flat. Johnson looked like he might have gotten a little bit more up the sideline, but ran out of bounds after he made the reception. It's third down.
Phil Simms, 3 for 3. Third down. 3 to go. Giants from their 15. They have a slot left for the first time. In motion is Billy Taylor. Ken Johnson. They hit him and knocked him down. There was an excellent charge by David Lewis, number 57. The left outside linebacker, who McKay says is the best in his position.
They sent Taylor in motion, trying to disjoint the force, but didn't do a good job in moving people. David Lewis, 57, really did a great job of coming up and making the play on the ball carrier that time, and lost yardage on the play.
All right, the punter will be Dave Jennings, second in the National Conference. Danny Reese is the safety man, number 46. And there's the kick. Coming down to Reese on his 43. Escape to the 45, to the 50. Reese is stopped at the 48 of the Giants. Well, Tampa Bay's ball in New York Giant territory. 4:42 to play in the first period, and we still have no score. Doug Williams brings him up. By the way, he's been sacked only once this year. Outstanding protection. The youngster is a starting quarterback, has won 9 and lost 4 for Tampa Bay. Had a broken jaw last year. Ricky Bell. Bell is banged down at the 47 of the Giants by Harry Carson, the middle linebacker. A 1-yard gain. Tampa Bay 2nd and 9. Dan Lloyd also helped Carson, number 54. Tampa Bay, for the first time this year, did not start the same 22 men. Just before the game, Dewey Selman was announced to the bench, and Aaron Brown started as left linebacker. That's the first time they haven't started the same units in offense and defense. The release is complete to number 30, to the 39 to Giles, a tight end. That's 3 he's caught. Did you notice the quick release by Doug Williams? He waits and waits, and then quick, the ball's gone.
Yeah, he doesn't have to rely on using his legs at all. He's got such a great arm. That time his feet were parallel when he threw the football, but he got it to Giles. It was a high percentage pass, short, but very important to keep the drive alive.
And the Eagles lead Washington 7-0. The 2 tight ends are in. Giles, Obradovich. 3rd down, a yard to go. Tampa Bay on the Giant 39. Eckwood gets the call, and it's going to be close. He's piled up by Dan Lloyd, number 54. George Martin was in there. Also Kelvin Miller, number 76.
Eckwood really didn't slam in there tough with a lot of abandon that time. It looked like he was trying to pick his way. And in that kind of situation, you got to make a decision and lower the shoulders and put the head in there and make the yardage.
Well, they've got a man in there now they think can get the yardage. Johnny Davis of Alabama, number 38, replaces Gary Eckwood. Tampa Bay going for it. 4th and 1 on the New York Giant 39. And they give the ball to Ricky Bell. And there's the scramble.
It's going to be very close, and I don't think he made it, Curt.
They look to the sticks. Harry Carson, submarine. The Giants hold on 2 plays. They stop Tampa Bay twice in a row, short of the first down, and the Giants will take over on their own 39-yard line. John McKay with a sloppy hat was not too happy about that one. And the Giants, the little open room now. They were pinned back against their own goal line. Bill Sims comes out. Sims wasn't even recruited highly when he went to Morehead State. And here he is starting now as a rookie in the National Football League.
The Giants got a lot of criticism for drafting him, Curt, but I think he's going to wind up being an excellent quarterback.
Perkins in motion. Sims gives the ball to Billy Taylor. Taylor at the 40, runs to the 45. Good run by him. He's down to the 47-yard line. And he's hit by Mark Cotney, the strong safety from Cameron State, Oklahoma.
That's one thing that's normally very difficult to do against Tampa, to line up on the left side of the ball with the left halfback and run all the way across the ball on an outside play and make yardage, but they did a good job of containing people and cutting off people, and for that reason they were able to make a nice chunk of 8 yards on the play.
Roy Simmons is in at guard, replacing J.T. Turner. 2nd down 2. Giants on their 47. They may have the first down. Ken Johnson, University of Miami of Florida, rookie, has the first down just short of the 50-yard line. Richard Wood, number 54, the inside linebacker, made the tackle. He was the first USC 3-time All-American. He was with the Jets. Now he's wound up under his old coach McKay and is playing excellent linebacker. First down, 50-yard line. New York in possession. 1:34 to go in the first period. No score. Tampa Bay was a 4.5-point favorite on a visiting field. Sims will unload it. It is complete to Shirt, the tight end. Gary Shirt, number 87.
He just goes right back into the pocket. Another very high percentage pass. Throws it right in the middle area between the linebackers. Gary Shirt, the tight end, number 87, makes the reception. And again, it's a small game, but it's a very important game because you have to make first downs before you're going to make touchdowns in this kind of a contest.
Atlanta leading Green Bay 10-0 first period. Sims is 4 for 4. They've all been short ones. Little hole for Taylor, 30. Inside the 20. They had the hole inside the tackles. Billy Taylor raced and Mark Cotney had to drag him down from behind.
That was somewhat of a counter play. They fake to the fullback, give it to the halfback, Billy Taylor. Good blocking at the point of attack. Taylor does an excellent job of running right for the goalpost. He's finally knocked down, but he makes a big gain on the play.
And you haven't seen that much this year, an opening like that in Tampa Bay's front seven.
But here again, you have to run up the middle if you're going to be successful against the 3-4 defense.
That's the longest run of the season from scrimmage for the Giants, 27 yards. Taylor again, 15, 10, 5, and he's down to the 3-yard line. First and goal to go for the Giants. 2 sizzling runs in a row for Billy Taylor from Texas Tech, number 4 pick last year. And that's the end of the first quarter, and the Giants band. Curt Gowdy and Hank Stram, Giants Stadium, the usual sellout. First and goal to go for the Giants on the Tampa Bay 3-yard line as we open the second period. Taylor and Johnson set behind rookie Phil Sims. A yard gain is all, that time for Ken Johnson, as he tried to slice off his right guard. Jarris White, the cornerback, came up to initially hit him.
The Tampa team now is employing a 4-man defensive line instead of their usual 3. Randy Crowder goes out. Richard Wood comes out. Yeah.
Crowder's in there to put some beef up front. He's 260. Sims asked the crowd to quiet down. A little offset in the backfield. Second down, 2 for a touchdown. Taylor, and he's in. Billy Taylor scores. Taylor was the spark of that drive behind good blocking by the much maligned New York Giant offensive line, who were opening some gaping holes.
Yes, they did. You have to give a lot of credit to Gus Coppins, Doug Van Horn, Jim Clack, the right guard J.T. Turner, all of whom watched the play going left. Ken Johnson, the fullback, is also a very integral part of this play. He must block the linebacker, which he does. Billy Taylor sees some running room inside, takes advantage of it. He's strong enough to go through the traffic. He is 6 foot, weighs 215 pounds, and did a good job of fighting his way for the touchdown.
He's had the extra effort today, running hard. Canelo for the kick. 7 out of 7 so far on extra point tries. Giants went 61 yards in that drive. Tampa Bay's offside. 7 plays, 61 yards. It took them only 3.5 minutes. Giants are last in the National Football League in possession time. That is the time they have the ball. Canelo's kick is up, and it is good. And the Giants are in the lead in this game. New York 7 and Tampa Bay nothing. They'll be kicking from the 40 on that offside penalty on the extra point try. Atlanta leads Green Bay 10-0 late in the first period. Wilbert Montgomery went 8 yards for a touchdown. The Eagles lead Washington 7-0 late in the first period. That's the story of the Giant drive. Back deep is Jordan Ragdale of Tampa Bay. And the kick is high. Ragdale chasing it. Fields it on the 10 to the 15. And is slammed down on the 22-yard line by 39 of the Giants, Bob Torrey. First down, Tampa Bay. Their offense has not done much so far. #1 in rushing in the National Football Conference.
It's really amazing. You never know what's going to happen, Curt. Going into the game, Tampa's 3rd in total offense against 10 of the Giants' defense.
Doug Williams, Grambling College. With a tailback, Eckwood. Eckwood is stopped at the 25 of Tampa Bay by Harry Carson, who's been a terror so far in this game, playing middle linebacker.
Interesting to see that the Tampa team that time lined up with 2 tight ends, and are going to try to stuff it at him by controlling the off linebacker by using 2 tight ends at the same time.
They haven't been able to move him out. We have flags down. Maybe a holding call against Tampa Bay because they're getting Isaac Higgins, wide receiver, back in, and Gordon Jones, and that's what it is. It's going back to the 12-yard line of the Buccaneers. Let's listen.
Number 50, offense, holding, 1st down.
The center, Steve Wilson, held. Take a look, Hank.
Yep, they're just going up the middle again this time. Bell that time is Eckwood, I should say, is a little undecided. He had a seam inside, didn't take it quickly enough. He would have got more yardage.
1st down and 20. Williams will put it up. Fires down the middle. It's intercepted at the 35. McKinney has it. Still going. And he's short of the 10. Williams overthrew his receiver right into the arms of the free safety, Otis McKinney. And the Giants will be threatening again.
All he did is a play-action fake. The fake was not good. He tried to hit the receiver inside. Throws it too high. It's intercepted, as you can see, by Otis McKinney. Starts inside, goes to the outside. The offensive players turn quickly. Defensive players turn quickly to offensive players trying to provide a block. New York Giants block.
And injured is Gordon Jones, a wide receiver at Tampa Bay. 1st down for the Giants. Tampa Bay's 11-yard line. Giants are ahead 7-0. They just scored a moment ago. Sims to Billy Taylor. Taylor at the 10, cuts upfield. Oh, he's running beautifully here. He's making his cut. When he's hit, he gives it that second effort. He's given the Giants their best running exhibition of the season.
And Doug Van Horn, the left guard, pulled on the play, number 63, provided good running room for Taylor, number 38, who did a good job of going down the sideline and picking up a nice gain. There's a penalty, however, on the play.
This backfield in motion.
Illegal motion, number 87 offense, 1st down and 15.
The tight end jumped, Gary Shirk. Well, that cost him a 5 or 6 yard gain. And now it's on the 16-yard line of Tampa Bay. 1st and 15 for the New York Giants. Taylor, 10-5, almost took it in. Billy Taylor, what a first half he's having. Cedric Brown, he's really getting off the ball, Henry.
Just a little high diddle-diddle right up the middle again. It's a trap. Van Horn does a good job of trapping, pulling from his left to the right. Trapped the defensive left end, Wally Chambers. Good running room, and he really got up ahead of steam and headed for that goal line. A beautiful looking play.
He's already had 65 yards in the first half, Billy Taylor, and we're only a couple of minutes into the second quarter. 2nd down. A yard to go for a 1st down. 2 for a touchdown. Taylor. He stopped short of the goal line. Aaron Brown and Richard Wood ganged up on him, but they may have a 1st down. They do. 1st and goal to go for New York on the Tampa Bay half-yard line.
They really have a sledgehammer backfield with Johnson at 6'2", 220, and Billy Taylor is 6 foot even, 215. They really stick it at you. Good, strong possession kind of runners.
1st and goal to go, the Giants, Tampa Bay's half-yard line. 7-0, Giants in the lead. Taylor did not make it. Trying to dive it over. Mark Cotney got up there to stop his momentum. Also, Wally Chambers is back in, number 60. Now it's second down, a half yard to go for a Giant touchdown.
See if they give it to Johnson this time, the big fullback, number 48.
Each team has had one turnover. They've had no sacks. Second down, goal to go. Taylor scores. And the Giants have two quick touchdowns in the opening of the second period.
They run to the right behind Johnson, and Taylor just leaps over the top. Jarris White came in there from the outside, almost made the containment, but he had too much momentum and took him right into the end zone for the touchdown.
Touchdown came with 11:45 to play in the first half. Randy Dean will spot the ball for Joe Dinello. And the kick is good. Oh, the fired-up Giants strike twice early in the second period. It's now the Giants 14 and Tampa Bay nothing. New England leading Detroit 7-2 in the first period. Sam Cunningham just bucked over, 1 yard for a touchdown. And now Dinello will kick off. George Ragsdale is deep for the Giants. This kick is high. Ragsdale gathers it in at the 14. He's to the 20. He stopped at the 25-yard line of Tampa Bay, and a flag is down. The Giants may have been offside on the kickoff. Offside against the Giants on the kickoff.
I'm sure they'll make him kick it again. I would.
They always want that
number
ball
39,
in extra time, right?
Yes, exactly right. But the big thing is you want to have field position, and you should be able to get better field position if you get an extra 5 yards right from the very beginning.
Bob Torrey was a Giant player offside. Dinello is not kicking it. Well, he did the first kickoff, but he's not kicking deep, but he's hoisting that ball. He's getting it way up there, allowing the Giants to cover. And by the way, they have been the poorest team covering kickoffs in the National Football League. They've allowed nearly 25 yards of kick return. They're doing better today.
Yes, they are, and they're playing with a lot of enthusiasm. The intensity level is very high. It's very obvious that they're very up for this football game.
Ragsdale gone about his 18-yard line. Tampa Bay has not had very good field position. They have not threatened in the game yet. This is a scribbler bouncing around 34-yard line of Tampa Bay. Tony Davis came up with it, and they gained about 15 yards by making the Giants kick it again. We had a score of a safety for Detroit. That one says 14-0. I don't know. We had a 7-2 score. We'll try and check that one out for you. Tampa Bay under 39. First down. Giants are in a 3-down line situation. They opened the game surprisingly with that. Eckwood is hit at the 39 for no gain by Beasley Reese. No gain. Reese, the strong safety, made the hit on him. Eckwood has gained 452 yards coming into this one, averaging 4.2. He was injured quite a bit at the University of Arkansas. He was a blocking back, really, for Cowens there last year. I saw them both in the Fiesta Bowl game out in Tempe. Second down, 10. Doug Williams gets it away. Incomplete. They're trying to set up a screen to Eckwood. Didn't work. George Martin put the pass rush on Doug Williams. Martin right on him. Martin led the Giants in sacks last year. Gary Jeter is the leader with 3.5 this season. 3rd and 10 for Tampa Bay. Their offense has been stalled the entire game.
Yes, and they're going to have to be careful. And one thing good about the coach calling the plays, he's not going to take any undue chances. He's going to be patient and do what he thinks he can do and not cough up the ball here and make a bad mistake. At least I'm sure that's what they'll try to do.
3rd and 10 for Tampa Bay. They're trailing 14-0. Williams out of the pocket. Guns the ball. Incomplete to Ricky Bell. And nearly deflected into the hands of Beasley Reese. And Curt is covering on the play. Again, the Giant defense has stopped Tampa Bay. And they'll have to punt it away.
It's very obvious that the 3-4 alignment is creating some problems, but the biggest problem really is the fact that the Giant defensive line is licking the offensive line of the Tampa team, and conversely, the other thing is true. That's usually what happens, and that's what's happening here today. They're controlling the line of scrimmage, the New York Giants.
Here's the punt now by Tom Blanchard. Short kick, bounds around, takes a Tampa Bay hop, and it winds up all right for Tampa Bay. Out of bounds on the Giants' 17-yard line. We'll be back here in Giant Stadium for the score. The New York Giants 14 and Tampa Bay nothing. Phil Simms is the oldest of 3 rookie starting quarterbacks now in the NFL. He's 9 months older than Jeff Comlow, the Lions, and more than a year older than Steve Fuller, the Kansas City Chiefs. There he is, rookie Phil Simms. He has his team on top. That's about a yard or two gain. Bill Kohler, the nose tackle, jammed up Ken Johnson at the Giant 19-yard line. 2nd down 8 for New York.
That's the way you have to play the 3-4. That time Kohler was being blocked one-on-one by Jim Clack. He licked his man one-on-one. For that reason, the linebackers were also free, and they were able to stack the play and stuff it after just about a yard and a half gain.
Tampa Bay gets in their nickel defense, puts in a fifth secondary back. Jordan takes out a linebacker, Johnson. 5 secondary backs in there for Tampa Bay now. 2nd down 8 for the Giants from their 19. Taylor spills it out to the 24. Bill Kohler, 2nd tackle in a row for him. Flags are down. That's holding against the Giants. Tampa Bay is going to accept the penalty. This will put the ball back on the 9-yard line of New York.
Number 56, offense, holding, 2nd down.
Jim Clack, the veteran center, the captain, the offensive team to hold it. Look at Billy Taylor in the first half. 2nd down, 18.
I'm sure they'll run the ball here.
They do. And up to the 14 is Ken Johnson. Where Wally Chambers met him, the left end. Wally Chambers is quite a story. Traded over by the Bears. He had a knee surgery. The knee ached in 77, 78. Now he's recovered. They moved him from inside to the outside. And he says we're not wearing diapers anymore, but dress slacks down there at Tampa Bay. On the 14-yard line. 3rd down, 13. Taylor in motion. Simms will have to be careful now. He runs it out. He gets up to the 20. They chase him and haul him down along the 20-yard line. Mark Cotney, the strong safety, came up to nab him. A gain of 6, but the Giants will be in punt formation with a 4th and 7. And Dave Jennings will be called on to do the kicking. And going back is Danny Reese for Tampa Bay.
You know, one thing you want to do when you're back in the soup, you want to get the ball out, hopefully, to at least the 20-yard line so you can punt from a reasonable position. They did that, and Simms was able to provide the running room with that scramble on the last play.
Good kick by Jennings, a high one. Reese on his 36. Looking down to cover. He breaks away. Well, he broke 2 or 3 tackles. They pulled him down on the 49. An excellent 13-yard return by Danny Reese. We have 8:23 to go in the first half here. Giants 14, Tampa Bay nothing. Curt Gowdy, Hank Stram. Middle of the 2nd period. Giants ahead 14-0. Tampa Bay's ball, their own 49.
See if they run left here.
They do. 45 to the 40. Johnny Davis of Alabama, who's playing now in place of Jerry Eckwood, finally tripped up by Red Road. They're right on it, Henry.
Nice looking play, just straight ahead blocking. Davis goes through a big hole, changes direction, started outside, went back inside, carries the ball in the wrong arm, but it's good for distance. And a nice looking play by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Tampa Bay on the New York Giant, 34. First down. Same play, Johnny Davis. Doug Williams said, hey, it works once, it'll work twice. They picked up some yardage on it before Harry Carson stopped Johnny Davis of Alabama. Second-year Tampa Bay player. It is now on the 27-yard line of the Giants. Good for 7. 2nd and 3.
A good philosophy. Don't anticipate the fact that they're going to stop you. Make them stop you. That's exactly evidently what Johnny Feld on the last play called the same play twice in a row and succeeded in making good yardage.
Morris Owens to the right, Isaac Higgins to the left as wide receiver. 2nd down, 3. Tailback has the ball. Ricky Bell. And Bell was met at the 25-yard line by Harry Carson, who has had the most tackles of any member of either defensive team. Calvin Miller aided him. 3rd down. A long yard to go. Curt coming in now. There's Larry Mucker. Higgins is out. 3rd and a yard. Bell. They stop him. Bell stopped him at 29. Tampa Bay has had not much luck this year with 3rd down efficiency. Brad Van Pelt, the outside linebacker, played that one beautifully.
Yes, he certainly did, and I really am a little surprised that they would try to go outside from a spread backfield. They do so well running it from the I formation that I'm surprised they didn't try to get outside from the I.
Higgins will bring a play in from John McKay, who calls all the plays for the Buccaneers. And let's see what the play is. He tells Doug Williams, the quarterback. The Buccaneers break out with 4th and 4.
See if they try to do a little business with a tight end or one of the backs here.
They do it to the back. The flag had been dropped. The whistle had blown. And it's a legal delay of the game. It took too much time. So they'll be penalized 5 yards. It'll be 4th and 9. Now, you think they'll change the call?
Well, Williams that time, really got back and set up nicely, but threw the ball off balance and threw it too far out in front of Ricky Bell for that reason.
Delay of game, violation of the 30-second count, 4th down.
They lost an opportunity because of that bad throw.
That brings up 4th and 9, and Tom Blanchard's going into a punt formation.
Tom Blanchard was a former quarterback, I remember. He's capable of throwing the ball in the event that they have that kind of a play. No, he kicks it.
Reese is the safety man. That one is a touchback, and the Giants will take over on their own 20-yard line. The Tampa Bay had their best threat of the game, and it stalled tonight on CBS. 60 minutes, followed by Archie Bunker's play. And there's more great comedy on One Day at a Time. Alice and the Jefferson, and Pernell Roberts stars as the dynamic trapper John M.D. It's all on CBS tonight. Giants are leading undefeated Tampa Bay, the only undefeated tied team right now in the National Football League.
See if they run right on the first play here.
First down, Giants on the 20-yard line. To the 21-22-yard line. David Lewis came up to meet Billy Taylor. Taylor has been the running star of the ball game. He has around 70 yards in the first half. He scored both Giant touchdowns.
And he was a great player at Texas Tech, a 2-year man, 6 foot tall and 215 pounds. Very good looking back here this afternoon.
Redskins have scored on the Eagles. Theismann passed to Riggins of 4 yards, 14-7 Eagles. 2nd down 8, New York. up on Taylor now. They stop him at the 24. Chambers and Selman, the two defensive ends, pinched him. Gain of only 2. Giants have a 3rd down and 6.
Up until now, Curt, the Giant offensive line is really coming off the ball very well and dominating the defense of the Tampa team. The Tampa team is coming off the ball a little bit better right now. They're doing much better than they did earlier in the game.
3rd down, 6. Perkins to the right. Scales to the left. Throw. Intercepted by Tampa Bay. No. Dropped the ball. White had his back to me. I didn't see the ball pop down. Jarris White, the left cornerback. 4th down. Sims might have made a 1st down by running that time.
Yes, he did. He thought he had a receiver open and almost threw it into the defensive back that time for an interception.
There's a kick of beauty. That's driving Danny Reese back to his 20. Out to the 25. And is down on his 27-yard line. The best kick of the game by Dave Jennings. And down covering was Ray Oldham. Next Sunday, the NFL on CBS will feature New Orleans at Tampa Bay. Hank Stram and I will be down there. Philadelphia versus St. Louis. San Francisco against the Giants here. Washington versus Cleveland. Second game of the doubleheader. Atlanta at Oakland and Detroit versus Green Bay. All on CBS. Eckwood is back in as a running back. Johnny Davis is out.
See if they run left again.
They do, but they don't get much. They're to the 29-yard line. And brought down there. Ricky Bell, or Johnny Davis.
Calvin Miller really did a good job. The man on the nose of the center that time really did a good job of coming off the block and making the tackle on the ball carrier.
Mucker brings the play. I wonder if there's something wrong with Jerry Eckwood.
Yeah, he's had a bad wrist, and I'm sure that's why they took him out. He wasn't really running like I saw him run earlier in the season.
Owens left. Larry Mucker to the right is a wide man. Passes to Ricky Bells out to the 30. Brad Van Pelt on him. Stopped him at the 32-yard line. The play goes for 3. And Tampa Bay, against an aroused Giant defense, has a 3rd down 5. 3 minutes to play in the first half. The Giants are leading 14-0. The surprising Kansas City Chiefs are ahead of Cincinnati 7-0. Mike Williams on a 1-yard touchdown run.
You know,
Cincinnati's yet to win.
They've been very surprising, but Cincinnati has even been more surprising in that they haven't won a game. They've got a lot of ability.
3rd and 5 for Tampa Bay. Williams will try and pass for it. Flag is down. It's complete to Giles, the tight end. His 4th reception. But this one could be wiped out. That's offensive interference against Tampa Bay to wipe out the 1st down.
You know, Giles really did a good job of adjusting on the play. He was going inside, saw some room between the linebackers, squatted in that area, made the catch, was open, but there was a penalty on the play.
Now we had offensive interference, and we've had a motion penalty. And it'll all be explained here by referee Gene Barth. The umpire is Tom Myers, the head linesman Jerry Bergman. Let's listen here.
Illegal motion, refused. Offensive pass interference, number 88, accepted, 10 yards. We'll move it back.
They had a double penalty, and the Giants naturally took the longest one. They only penalized them 5 yards, and they moved it back another 5 to the Tampa Bay 21-yard line. Well, Tampa Bay did have a 1st down, and now they're in a 3rd down and 15. They have not threatened in this game yet. Williams looks the field over, throws it deep to Owens, and Owens has the ball. He's out of bounds. He's out of bounds with it. Good throw, and a flag is down.
Had a lot of time to throw the ball. The pass protection was excellent, a three-man rush. Owens ran an in and out pattern deep. Doug threw the ball right on the money. He should have had the presence to know where he was so he could keep both feet in bounds. He did not, and for that reason, it was incomplete. Let's see what happens here now.
This is a 15-yard penalty against the Giants.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 70 defense, first down.
Gary Jeter roughed the passer, Doug Williams. He had a lot of time, but after he let the ball go, Jeter got to him. And, of course, the officials are really trying to protect the quarterback this year. That's an automatic first down for Tampa Bay on their own 36. Giants ahead 14-0. Here's the screen pass. And it's fumbled by Jerry Eckwood. He can't handle it.
We talked about that bad wrist. There was a good example, I think. He didn't have complete control of the ball. It was thrown perfectly, but for some reason, he just did not have the touch that he normally does. Watch him come out to the left here. Jerry Eckwood, the ball's right on the money, but he's got some protection on the left wrist and dropped the football.
Tampa Bay's deepest penetration in this game has been to the New York Giants 34-yard line, and that was here in the second period.
Let's watch for the tight end.
It is behind Larry Mucker, who was streaking across the middle. Mucker, a wide receiver, set out to the left.
And boy, was he wide open along with the tight end, Jimmy Giles, both of whom were open along with Ricky Bell, also in the left flat.
Second down, 10 to go for the Buccaneers. Isaac Higgins, the wide receiver, brings in a play. Gordon Jones, by the way, injured his knee, we have received word, and is out for the afternoon. Second string rookie wide receiver. Second and 10. There it is right there to Isaac Higgins. Higgins first down the Giant 39-yard line. Wide open deep down the middle. And what time Williams had, Hank?
Yes, he did. And watch the way he throws the ball. However, he stayed in there in good shape, anchored in good shape, looked down the middle, jumped a little bit to his left, but threw the ball right at the numbers to Isaac Hayden. First down.
Timeouts remaining. Full complement for Tampa Bay. The Giants took two early in the first period when young quarterback Sims had some confusion. First down now. Buccaneers on the Giant 39. 2 minutes to play in the first half. 14-0 New York. Ricky Bell running loose. And he carries the ball deep into Giant territory before Ray Rhodes trips him up on the Giant 17.
Good blocking at the point of attack by Dave Revis, Greg Horton, and also Steve Wilson, all of whom did a good job of blocking at the point of attack, and Ricky Bell did a good job of running inside from the I formation, started in, went to the outside, a nice seam. Isaac Higgins, 81, is out in front, trying to throw a block, but Ricky Bell really does a good job of stretching that into a large game.
First down, Tampa Bay's deepest penetration of the game. Giants 17. Handoff to Bell. Bell bumped into one of his own men, then rolled over the 15 to the 14, where George Martin was there to take him. It'll be second down, 7 to go, and Tampa Bay has called time with 1:11 to go. Remember the NBA on CBS, the opening game of the season, Friday night, 11:30 Eastern Time. The Lakers against the San Diego Clippers. Magic Johnson out of Michigan State. Only 2 years there. After his sophomore year, he led the Spartans to the national title and went to the pros. And Bill Walton returns back to his hometown where he was a high school star. He'll make his debut as a Clipper. 11:30 on CBS. Brent Musburger and the Hot Rod. Hot Rod Hundley will be calling the action for you. Brent, Jane, and Irv will be coming up next. First-year coach Ray Perkins, who caught 10 passes in the first half of his senior year in the Orange Bowl. He always remembers that one.
Yeah, he never he remembered that. We talked to him before the game. He knew specifically. You said 10 or 11. He said no, 10.
What did they say? I never pay any attention to statistics.
No, they're very unimportant, but I caught 10.
You know, there have been a lot of things written about Perkins, that he has a steel plate in his head after a brain operation. But he didn't. When he was a freshman at Alabama, he had a brain injury, a blood clot, with 3 holes drilled into his skull, and came out of it perfectly. He was a lucky young man at that time. 2nd down 7 for Tampa Bay on the Giant 14-yard line. A little over a minute to play. Williams' pass in the end zone is tipped out of there. Otis McKinney deflected the ball away from Jimmy Giles.
He forced that when he went back into the pocket with the express purpose of trying to hit Jimmy Giles, but he was double covered. He looked left and then threw the ball right, but there were too many folks there, and it's a wonder the ball was not intercepted. He tried to force it, which is a mistake that a lot of young quarterbacks will naturally make.
We have a minute and 5 seconds to play in the first half. 14-0. Giants ahead. Naturally, Tampa Bay would like to grab this score. This could give them a lift when they go into their locker room at halftime. 3rd down 7. We'll pass again. And it is caught for a touchdown. Larry Mucker, number 87, on a dazzling catch. And Tampa Bay's on the board.
When you talk about concentration, this is exactly what you refer to. Larry Mucker tips the ball, good protection all the time in the world. He finally throws the ball. Watch. He jumps up. The ball is deflected, hits his hat, comes back down. He makes the catch. Larry Mucker, excellent concentration on the play. And Otis McKinney was in good position to make the interception, but just missed.
Play went for 14 yards. Doug Williams' 9th touchdown pass of the year. Neil O'Donohue will try the point. The kick is up, and it is good. That should be a lift for Tampa Bay, scoring just before the end of the half after they've been stopped almost completely cold during this first half. Tampa Bay's been behind in 4 of their 5 victories so far this year, and they've won their only overtime game over Baltimore. So coming from behind is nothing new to them.
No, and I'm sure they feel mighty good about the fact that they get 7 points on the board before halftime. This game is a long way from being over. This is a well-disciplined, well-oiled football team. And as I mentioned earlier, one of the important things is the fact that John is calling the plays from the sideline, and he's not going to let them make any mistakes that would create a problem and shrink the size of the field for the New York Giants.
Scoring drive of 72 yards for Tampa Bay. 9 plays. 3 minutes of possession time. Big run in that play. Drive was Ricky Bell to take him inside the 20, where you're always supposed to score, but you don't always do it. Beasley Reese received the kickoff. And Coder, 44, grabs it at the goal line and is stopped on his 13-yard line. Billy Cesar went down to hit him there. 54 seconds to go in the first half. Giants out in front, 14-7. They haven't had the ball much lately.
No, they really haven't, and they have to get back to doing what they did so well early, but as you mentioned, they really haven't had good field position. The last 3 times specifically, they had it on their own 18, their own 20, their own 13.
Your old buddy, Jan Stenerud, just kicked a 46-yard field goal. Kansas City leads Cincinnati 10-0. Billy Taylor, he's hit at the 15 by Leroy Sullivan. When Leroy hits him, they're hit.
He really smacked him that time, gave him a crunch. And Tampa very wisely calls timeout, hoping that they would make them kick again and maybe get another shot for a touchdown before the half.
Tampa Bay has 1 timeout left. Speaking of Jan Stenerud, I'll never forget that Christmas Day. You never will. The longest game ever played. The greatest pro game I think I've ever had the privilege to broadcast. When Stenerud missed 31 yards, seconds to go in regulation, took you into 6 quarters.
You know, my little daughter, Mary Nell, was about 6 at that time, and after the game, she said, "Dad, how come Jan kicked the ball so crooked?"
So crooked, huh?
Yeah.
Didn't miss by much.
Oh, gee, it was just an inch. But it might as well be a mile.
And you probably would have been in the Super Bowl again.
Yeah, we had a good shot at it, but that's ancient history, Curt, as you know.
Time flies on. Phil Simms is the story here today for the Giants. Their hope for the future. The first pure rookie starter that is destined to get all the playing time in 31 years for the Giants. Billy Taylor is the top ball carrier in the game to the 19-yard line. And Aaron Brown, the linebacker, brought him down. Tampa Bay has called their last timeout. The Giants still have one left. Clock 34 seconds, as you can see. The score, New York Giants 14, Tampa Bay 7. Tampa Bay will have a challenge next week for a sellout crowd. Tampa Bay when they go against the New Orleans Saints. A high-geared offensive team led by Archie Manning. Top passing team in the National Football Conference.
Yes, they're very explosive, and they really make the sparks fly, especially offensively.
Tampa Bay is first in the National Conference in rushing. They've been averaging 185 a game. The Jets are the leaders of the entire National Football League. And just here in the last 5 minutes of the first half, did Tampa Bay get their running game going. Giants, third down, 5. Tampa Bay's out of timeout. The Giants should waste the 30 seconds here. That's Richard Wood sliding in from his inside position to stop the ball carrier on the Giant 20. Clock ticking away. They'll have to kick it before the half is over, though.
No, they'll let it wind down.
They'll let it wind down, but I thought it was about 31 seconds.
No, they'll let it wind down and no play before the half.
They're down to 2-1. They were just inside the 30 seconds when
yes.
Carrier was stopped.
When you looked at it, it was 31. I did the same thing. It was 31, then it went reduced down to 29, and that was the difference.
Well, there's your first half score. Giants struck early. 2 touchdowns in the second period. Billy Taylor plunging over, 2 yards out, 14-18 to go in the half. Taylor a half yard over, 11:45. And the score is the New York Giants 14 and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 7.
Back live in New York, I'm Brent Musburger. In the first half, Walter Payton carried 20 times for 100 yards, but yet Chicago and Buffalo are scoreless at the half. Elsewhere, New England with a quick turnaround. They scored once, Detroit fumbled the kickoff, Patriots scored again, and the Lions have lost still another quarterback. Jeff Comlow out with an injury. Scott Hunter now playing. Atlanta leading Green Bay at the half, 15-7. Many of you are watching and enjoying that game. And a big one. Both teams 4-1. Philadelphia led it by 14. Then Washington came back, and we'll show you the highlights of that game shortly. Now Tampa Bay and the Giants. This is a dandy in Tampa Bay and New York. All of you are really up for this one. 14-7, Tampa Bay's string on the line. At the half, Kansas City leading Cincinnati 10-0. And just underway, St. Louis and Houston, they are scoreless in the first period. It's almost a cliche around the NFL that the way to attack a 3-4, the kind of defense usually employed by Tampa Bay, is to run right straight at it. Well, here he came, Billy Taylor, serving notice that this would be the Giant offense today. That was 27 yards. Taylor this time to the 3-yard line. He carried 15 times in the first half for 76 yards. Here he is going in. Tough touchdown by Billy Taylor. Now, after a Giant interception, it was Taylor again, down to the 2-yard line. Taylor for his second score as Simms put it up only 5 times, completing 4 passes. Now, but the Buccaneers came right back in it on this pass, and watch the catch by Muckler. Stays right with the throw by Dougie. That is a great catch in the end zone. He did not break concentration. Not even Irv Cross could have batted that one away.
But I was watching the Philadelphia Eagle, Washington Redskin game in Philadelphia in the third quarter. The Redskins had the ball now on their 10-yard line coming out. And, of course, the Eagles are leading that game 14-7. This is first half action. Ron Jaworski in the first quarter going to number 84. Keith Krepley makes a nice catch and runs along the far sideline here, picking up 41 yards, taking the ball down inside the 10-yard line, down to the 8. Next play, number 31, Wilbert Montgomery takes the handoff, goes over. The Eagles lead 7-0. Jaworski going to the air again, this time number 84, Keith Krepley. Catch, no catch? Yes, it is a catch. Eagles retain possession. Jaworski going to the air again, number 31, Montgomery. He goes all the way, and they lead at this point 14-0. Theismann gets his club back on the board originally here with a pass to Riggins. Halftime is scoring to 14-7 in the third quarter now. Redskins have the ball, and Eagles are still leading 14-7.
Irv, I suggest that we pay attention to that 7-game pick by Mr. Rose. He's on a hot tear. He said New England was the best pick of the day. Watch the Patriots. Flea flicker, left-handed. Where's my man Francis? Maybe the best tight end ever. Look at him. Is he a load? Out of bounds on the 3. Cunningham, touchdown, New England. Ensuing kickoff, and this really turned this game around quickly. Leonard Thompson set for the return. Took one big hop, and he didn't get a good handle. Had it stripped from him. Rick Sanford to the Detroit 2-yard line. And from there, it was Don Calhoun in for the touchdown. The Lions on the board right now, trailing it 14-3. Now, in another game, many of you are watching Green Bay, Atlanta. Let's check in. Atlanta has lost its last 3 games under Lehman Bennett. Back they came against the Packers. Bartkowski, Jenkins, touchdown Falcons. Now here's Whitehurst. Time running down, looking for Kaufman. That's a 30-yard gain down to the Atlanta 12-yard line. And here came the touchdown pass to Barney Smith. And at the half, that one is 15-7. And let's send you back now to the stadium and the game you're enjoying.
The announcement was brought to you as a public service by the National Football League. Let's have you take a look at the halftime stats. Nothing spectacular there, Henry.
No, nothing at all. It just indicates what an even game it really has been in the first half. I think very obviously that the New York Giants came off the bus with a lot more emotion, a lot of intensity, and controlled the line of scrimmage early. And now it's beginning to switch over. I think right before the half, Tampa was able to establish and acquire some momentum, and we'll see if they can maintain it and sustain it in this second half.
Tampa Bay in the white. New York in the blue or dark. And the Giants are going to receive. Neil O'Donohue of Auburn will be kicking off. Beasley Reese is backpedaling to the goal line there. The slogan in Tampa Bay right now is "Go for O, no defeats." Right now, Tampa Bay will have to come from behind to avoid their first defeat of this campaign. The kick is coming to Reese on the 3. Bounced right back to him to the 15. He's in trouble, and he's back to the 19. He's tackled there by Billy Caesar, number 44. First down, Giants, as we get ready to go now into the second half. They've been very conservative with the passing game, the Giants. Short passes and not many of them. The Giants have thrown the ball only 5 times in the first half, and rookie Phil Simms completed 4. Giants on the 19 with the first down. Henry Moorhead and Billy Taylor are the starting backs. Things will go up in the air on the first play. Out it goes. It's complete with the tight end, Gary Curt, number 87. And he appears to have the first down before he's brought down by Aaron Brown.
It appears they're going to maintain the high risk or the low risk passing that they were trying to establish in the first half and did so successfully. That time they go back into the pocket and just throw the ball to the tight end. Shirku makes a reception, and they move the ball well on the first and 10 situation of the second half.
First down, Giants on their own 30-yard line. There's that gaping hole open again, and Billy Taylor romps through it. He's had some holes over that right side. Opened that time by J.T. Turner and Gordon Gravel.
The right guard, the left guard, I should say, pulled on the play. And went on the outside of the linebacker. Taylor cut inside. There was a big hole. He took advantage of it and made a nice chunky yardage on that first and 10 situation.
All right, 2 successive first downs for the Giants. Their ball, their own 43-yard line. They're leading 14-7. They now have 10 first downs to 7 for Tampa Bay. He threw the ball behind Ernest Gray. You just saw the only rookie battery in the National Football League. Sims, a rookie quarterback, and Gray, a rookie wide receiver.
And you saw a veteran defensive end that time, Wally Chambers, number 60, get good penetration and force the young quarterback to throw the ball poorly.
Second down, 10. Giants on their 43. Taylor has 89 yards running in this game. Blitz. They have the blitz on. They got him. There's the first sack. Cotney, the strong safety, blitzed.
He timed that perfectly that time. He blitzed from the strong safety position. Got in there in good shape and anticipated the count and the cadence. That's one thing about, here you see Cotney, number 33, coming in low and making the tackle on the young quarterback, Phil Sims. Good timing and good rhythm on the anticipation of the blitz.
Well, we never got that. Giants penalized for illegal procedure. Second down and 15, and the sack was wiped out. Might have called that one before the snap. There's a drop play to Taylor, 40, 45, 50, and they have the first down. What a day he's having. Running back Billy Taylor, a Giant number 4 pick in 1978.
A draw play from the I formation. Goes inside, breaks to the outside, breaks through a tackler. And finally, Mark Cotney, number 33, makes the tackle, but another sizable gain by the New York Giants, and specifically Billy Taylor, number 38.
He's been the man today, Billy Taylor. First down, Giants, Tampa Bay 47. Sims on first down. And the pass is incomplete. The last 2 passes by Sims have been poor. And he's mad at himself. He just sort of clapped his hand and hit himself in the chest. He knew he threw the ball badly.
Well, it's a typical mistake of a young quarterback. Sometimes they try to get the ball to the receiver so quick that they hurry their feet and hurry the delivery. That time he threw it poorly for that reason. He really wasn't based well and tried to throw the ball with his arm instead of his legs and also his arm.
Billy Taylor is a 100-yard game now. Billy Taylor's gained 104 yards. Second down, 10 for the Giants. A blitz again. Again, that time they had Mark Cotney blitzing from the left side from the strong safety spot. He didn't get to him because Mr. Leroy Selman was already there, number 63.
One thing that the young quarterback Sims has to do is change the rhythm of the cadence so that the defense cannot anticipate the rhythm and get across the line of scrimmage like he has on a couple of occasions. He's got to go in short counts, long counts, quick counts, and he'll disturb the rhythm of the defense by doing that.
Phil Sims last week came in relief and hit 8 out of 19. That performance earned him the starting role today. They're blitzing again. And they got him. That time Aaron Brown was the blitzer. They're going after him now. They're blitzing on nearly every play, trying to shake him up.
They kind of lull them to sleep in the first half. They didn't blitz very much. Here's Aaron Brown, gets a free shot inside 55. Bill Kohler, number 77, is also in there and gets good penetration. And the Giants are out of business on that drive.
Danny Reese, the safety man. Dave Jennings will punt it. Low pass. And the kick is coming to Danny Reese. And he's fumble. Up with it and hammered down on the 17-yard line. Somebody must have been talking with these guys this week because they've had good coverage on punts and kickoffs. A tackle by Eddie Hicks. It'll be Tampa Bay's ball when we return with the score still 14-7 New York. Well, not all the world's greatest will be there, but some of the world's best. On the CBS Sports Spectacular, Johnny Davis, Jerry Eckwood are the running backs as Tampa Bay takes over on their 17.
See if they run left on the very first play of the second half.
Right up the middle to the 20-yard line is Johnny Davis, ex of Alabama. Good short yardage, tough running man. Brian Kelly, the linebacker, and Kel Miller, the inside man, brought him down.
You know, that was a good change of pace that time, Curt, because from that formation, they'd be running left. That time they stepped left and ran up the middle with a counter play, and that'll help keep the linebackers at home the next time they run to the left or the right from that formation.
Larry Mucker, who caught the touchdown pass at the end of the half, brought a play in for Tampa Bay. Ricky Bell coming into the game, replacing Jerry Eckwood. Second down 7 for Tampa Bay. Ricky Bell has the ball. He's picked up at the 20. And there is a good charge by the rookie, Bill Tabor, who got off that ball, penetrated, and tripped him up behind the line of scrimmage. Tabor, a rookie of Oklahoma, and they like his future. Number 80 on the Giants. Third down 7 for Tampa Bay. Buccaneers trailing 14-7, undefeated this year. Won 5 in a row. They may be up against it now unless they can get going. Doug Williams looks the field over. Down the middle he goes. He has Higgins, Isaac Higgins, just a little high for him. Higgins broke free a step beyond Ray Rhodes, but the ball was overthrown. And now it's punt formation. Blanchard will be coming in. Fourth down 7 for Tampa Bay on their own 20. Beasley Reese is the safety man. He was counting the players on the field for the Giants to be sure. They had only 11. He better worry about this punt. The low kick. Reese fields it on his 46 to the 50. Shakes away and comes. The flag is down. And they get a clip on this one. Larry Mucker downfield to cover for Tampa Bay. Made the hit. Officials have called timeout. No preliminary sign. Now you have it. Clipping called against the Giants. That'll take them out of Tampa Bay territory.
You know, Tom Blanchard, you mentioned the fact that he was counting the players, which is a good observation, Curt. He does that with the idea that he has the best view of everybody. He wants to make sure that everybody's in there.
Personal foul, number 24 on the run back, blocking below the waist. First down.
That's the new rule that they put in this year, that you cannot block below the waist on punt returns or kickoff returns.
Barry Jackson committed the clipping. We have a timeout. For the score, the Giants 14, Tampa Bay 7. Curt Gowdy and Hank Stram here, Giants Stadium, New Jersey. Giants ball, first down, their own 39-yard line. In motion is Perkins. Taylor out to the 40. Down on the 42-yard line. He gets 3. He now has 107 yards rushing. He has the first 100-yard running game for the Giants this year.
A sweep with Van Horn pulling left. Taylor going to the right side. Aaron Brown, number 55, gets a good pursuit. He doesn't make the tackle, but he is finally tackled on the outside by the safety man, or the corner, I should say, Jarris White.
The last 100-yard rushing game for the Giants was by Doug Coder last December. got him. Leroy Selman fires across that line of scrimmage. Also with him was Bill Kohler to pin Taylor for a loss. That Selman can play that right end position.
And they're very wise. They haven't run to his side on many occasions. He did that time just to test him, to make sure that he was aware they'd run to him on occasions, but I'm sure they'll stay away from him the most of the game, the remaining part of this football game.
Third down, 9 to go. Curtis Jordan in as the 5th secondary back. Linebacker Cecil Johnson out of the game. Run Taylor on the sweep to the 40 and spilled out of bounds there by number 34, Cedric Brown. He used to sing in a gospel choir as a youngster with Archie Griffin, a Heisman Trophy winner of Ohio State. The clock stopped when he went out at 8:32 to go in the third period. It is 4th down and a punt formation. Danny Reese back as a safety man.
You know, the Giants had the best field position they've had since the last 5 possessions, but they weren't able to do any good with it. Now they have to punt the ball to Tampa.
This is the kind of game where they're going to run it. Jennings out with the ball. Has the first down. Jennings has the first down. He's passed this year 2 for 2 from punt formation, and he caught Tampa Bay by surprise and runs for the first down.
Watch it. He just takes a brief step. Not much fake on the play at all. Runs to the outside. He knows where he has to go. Good blocking downfield.
Oh, they had a couple of outstanding blocks on that one, or that play could have backfired on him.
Fantastic plays. Blocks, I should say. And he was able to make the first down.
The Giants on the Buccaneer 47, first down. And the crowd buzzing about the runoff 4th down and punt formation. Sims to Taylor. Taylor breaks it to the 41-yard line. Aaron Brown pulled him down there. Flag is down after the play.
You know, they're really doing a good job of trapping the defensive ends.
Big penalty call against Tampa Bay. First the foul. Probably a late hit.
You know, the big plays that the New York Giants have really run in this game has really been traps up the middle with Taylor running and the left guard Van Horn trapping, and that time J.T. Turner trapping on the play.
Personal foul, defense, unnecessary roughness, number 40, first down.
Mike Washington.
Mike Washington, unnecessary roughness. That spots the ball for the Giants now in the Tampa Bay 27. Time remaining, 8:18, third period. Giants ahead 14-7. That was the score at halftime. Taylor, Moorhead are the running backs. Sims on first down. Blocked by Leroy Selman. Also pouring in there was number 56, Cecil Johnson, the outside right linebacker. When every pass Sims has thrown in his has been on first down, Henry.
Yes, and it's a good time to throw. It's a good time to throw. He's trying to take advantage of the kind of coverage they like to play on first down. That time he tried to throw the ball inside of Jarris White, but as you mentioned, he was knocked down nicely that time by Cecil Johnson, 56.
Billy Taylor, you'll notice, came out of that huddle, lines up as a wingback. A lone setback now in the Giant attack. And he has the ball, that setback. That is Emory Moorhead, number 30, University of Colorado. He stopped just short of the 20 by David Lewis, the left outside linebacker. The Eagles are roaring away now. Third period, lead the Redskins 28-7. Eagles have been beaten only once this year, but so have the Redskins coming into this game. Third down. 4 yards to go for New York. And Tampa Bay's 21. Taylor in motion. They got the blitz on, and they call that ball dead. Now that's a rule this year. If the quarterback is in the clutch of a defending player and then in control, but watch this.
Yeah, he's not in control at all that time. He has a piece of him, but he doesn't have him in his grasp. He slides off. He should have had an opportunity, really, to get rid of the football, but I guess he maybe had him by the ankle, and that's why the official called it like he did.
That's the new rule. They're trying to protect the quarterback. If a defensive player has him in his clutch and is under control, then they'll blow the whistle down. 45-yard field attempt. And it is no good. Brunello has been in a slump this year. He's made only 1 of 6 over 30 yards. Well, the Giants' attack comes to an end on this drive, and we'll take time out with a score. The Giants 14, Tampa Bay 7. 7 minutes to play in the third quarter. Tampa Bay in possession on their own 28. Good fake that time. The pass out to Eckwood, and Eckwood skips out of bounds on a Tampa Bay 39. An excellent fake up the middle. He slipped the ball into Ricky Bell's belly and then brought it back out again.
And Eckwood did a good job of making the reception on the sideline, staying in bounds as long as he possibly could, and got as much yardage on the play as possible.
It went for 11 yards. That gives the Buccaneers a first down in their 39. Donnie Davis in the backfield. Jerry Eckwood is out.
See if they run left here.
There's Davis. He was hit at the 41 by number 76, Calvin Miller. And that jar was enough to take him off his feet. Goes down on the 43, a 4-yard gain, 2nd and 7. A lot of fans ask me, Curt, how does Stram call him, right or left? What do you look for in a play like that?
Well, look for the alignment of the backfield and plus the alignment of the formation. The formation will give you strength and weaknesses. And most of the time, the backs will run that way. They have counters, but most of the time, it'll hold up.
Morris Owens in motion. Donnie Davis. It was Phil Tabor, Calvin Miller inside men, who brought him to a stop on the Tampa Bay 45. And now the Bucs have a 3rd and 5.
That exchange, the mesh between the quarterback and the fullback, was not very precise that time, and could have been very close to being a fumble.
3rd and 5.
Let's see if they do anything with a tight end.
Still a 3-man rush. 2 men standing up for linebackers. The pass to the outside goes through the arms of Morris Owens. The outside right receiver. Williams said, looked like it said through his arm.
Yeah, he threw the ball the long way that time, and it should have been caught, but Giles came off the ball free that time. Wasn't the soul around him, that would have been the guy to throw the ball to, because it's a much higher percentage pass.
So Tom Blanchard's in another punt formation. And now looks like Terry Jackson is back on the scales. They let this one hop into the end zone. It's a touchback. It'll be the Giants' ball, first down on the New York 20. And with 5.5 minutes remaining in the third period, we still have it 14 for the Giants, 7 for Tampa Bay. Kenny Anderson ran 4 yards for a touchdown. It's 10-7 now, the Chiefs over the Bengals. We've had only 1 turnover on each team in this game. Giants, by the way, have fumbled only twice all year, to tie with Kansas City and Atlanta for the fewest fumbles in the National Football League. First down for the Giants on their 20.
The safety man's playing way outside of the tight end, and it looks like they can get the ball to the tight end, especially on 1st and 10.
But they elected to run Moorhead over right guard, and a yard after he ran into Leroy Selman. Tampa Bay leads the National Football League in recovering fumbles. They've had a hard-hitting, aggressive defense. They've recovered 12 enemy fumbles this year.
They just go in with 5 defensive backs. Curtis Jordan goes in, and Cecil Johnson comes out.
2nd down, 9 for the Giants. Here's the pitch to Billy Taylor. Makes his cut. Down he goes on the Giant 24-yard line. A gain of only 3. 3rd and 6. Tomorrow night on CBS, the White Shadow, MASH, and those Country Music Association Awards. Kenny Rogers will be the host. All on CBS Monday night. Be sure and be tuned.
You know, Taylor that time looked like he was going to make some yardage on the inside. A nice seam, and all of a sudden Selman came out of no place and made the tackle.
Now let's see what the youngster does here now. 3rd and 6. They'll run it, but they don't make it. Tampa Bay, Leroy Selman again. With some help by Randy Crowder. Stop him with a yard gain, and the Giants will have to go into punt formation. Back is Danny Reese.
The Giants really haven't had very good field position the last 6 times. They had it on their own 18, own 20, own 13, own 19, own 20, and own 39.
You're right. There's the kick. Wobbling around. Reese on his 26. Down he goes. Excellent coverage that time by number 23, Otis McKinney. Right on him. A 2-yard punt return. Tampa Bay will take over on their own 28-yard line. Next Sunday, the NFL on CBS will feature New Orleans versus Tampa Bay. A sellout crowd down there, Hank. You and I'll be there. Philadelphia, St. Louis. San Francisco here against the Giants. Washington versus Cleveland. The second game of the doubleheader, Atlanta at Oakland, and Detroit versus Green Bay. Alan Caldwell's in at right cornerback, replacing Ray Rose. That's Johnny Davis. Pile driving his way to his 34. 6-yard pickup, 2nd and 4. Ricky Bell and Johnny Davis are the 2 running back. Here's a new cornerback in now, Hank Stram. Caldwell for Rhodes, the right cornerback. Wonder if Tampa Bay would try something against him.
Well, I'm sure when they get a little better field position, they might try to test him and give him a little business over here on the right side.
He's at the bottom of your screen, number 45, Caldwell. Morris Owens in motion. The pitch to Eckwood, who just checked in. Eckwood was stopped at the 34 for no gain. He is the leading ball carrier this year for Tampa Bay, but he's been ineffective today. He has only 6 yards running from scrimmage. 3rd down, 4 to go. This is turning into a 3rd down, 3rd quarter situation.
You know, and Eckwood is not running with nearly as much decisive action as he has in the past, and I'm sure he's handicapped a little bit because of the bad injury to his right or left wrist.
Kelvin Killer Miller just went out. Gary Jeter checked back in at right end. 3 down linemen. They fake the draw. They get to Williams. He shakes loose. He throws it, and it's incomplete. And the pass that time was intended for Jimmy Giles, the tight end who's been Doug Williams' favorite target here in this game.
Yes, and he can really fly for a big guy. He has excellent speed, a very fine blocker, and had the ball been thrown perfectly that time, he would have made the reception.
That time they faked the draw play. Tom Blanchard, who decided to retire and teach school when he was with the New Orleans Saints. I think you talked him out of it, didn't you, Henry?
Yes, he wanted to teach school back home, and we were able to talk him into playing again, and I think it was a very wise decision on his part because he can play for a long time. He's a good athlete.
There's the kick. Gales just hung on to it, and the stop there by Larry Mucker, the fleet outside receiver who plays on the punt coverage team.
Almost stepped in a mine there, Curt.
18-7, Atlanta over Green Bay in the 3rd period. Up and down they go. Green Bay loses. The Wolves howl. Green Bay upsets New England. Green Bay comes back. Atlanta unhappy over the loss to Washington last week. Now Atlanta's in the lead. What a toboggan roller coaster ride in the National Football League.
Tight end ought to be open if they decide to throw the ball on 1st and 10.
Roll out by Stearns. He does throw it. There is a dangerous play. David Lewis blocked that ball and nearly deflected into the hands of one of his own teammates deep in Giant territory.
Yes, he really forced the ball, and Gary Shirk, the tight end, on the side of the rollout was open. He anchored in the middle area right about the numbers, but he never looked at him and tried to force the ball outside. 5 defensive backs in the game now.
1:58 to go in the 3rd period. The Giants still hanging on to a 14-7 lead. Bill Kohler is in at left end, replacing Chambers. Crowder goes in at nose tackle. 3 down linemen for Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is tough now to run on. They're just stopping that giant running game cold. Billy Taylor hit by Leroy Selman, who has been an absolute monster on defense in this second half. 28-10, Philadelphia over Washington. Fourth quarter, 12:28 to go. Ball's on the 17-yard line of the Giants. 3rd and 11. Sims 5 for 10, 31 yards. Very conservative game plan.
Well, they want to make sure that they don't make a mistake and give the ball game away. They want to make sure they earn everything they get.
Off right to Taylor. Going out to the 20. Still going. First down for Billy Taylor on his own effort.
You talk about great effort. There was a great illustration of it. Billy Taylor on a plain vanilla draw play from the I formation. Good blocking at the point of attack. He sees a little running room, runs right over a linebacker. Couldn't tell who it was. I think it was Richard Wood, but he goes on to make the extra yardage and the first down.
He now has 134 yards on the ground. He ran out of 3 tackles on that play. First down Giants, their own 33. 37 seconds to go in the third period. Taylor tripped up by David Lewis, who came shooting across the line of scrimmage from his outside position. Lewis, USC player. He was the first player taken on the second round by Tampa Bay in 1977. Giants lost 3 yards. They have a second down and 13.
The defense of Tampa really has to impress you because they read, react, respond to what they see so well that a lot of times you think you're going to make some yardage and all of a sudden they squeeze it shut in a big hurry.
That's the end of the third quarter. With the score, the New York Giants 14 and the Tampa Bay Bucks 7.
WTVT Tampa St. Petersburg.
Curt Gowdy, Hank Stram as we enter the fourth period here at Giant Stadium. St. Louis and Houston are tied 7-all. In the second, Earl Campbell. Another touchdown on the year for him, a 4-yard run after the Cardinals had scored Theodis Brown, plunging over 2 yards. 7-7, Cardinals in Houston. This is the 2nd and 13 for the Giants. And Billy Taylor runs the ball, and they had everybody up there. They had 8 men on the line of scrimmage. They brought the safety man up. He was preparing to blitz, but then he just floated along with the play. Finally, it was Bill Kohler, the nose tackle, who made the stop.
Yeah,
Taylor.
Mike Cotney, number 33, the strong safety, as you mentioned, Curt, was on the line of scrimmage, ready to blitz, but the anticipation was wrong that time, and it was a read blitz. He was up there in case there was a pass. Since it was a run, he responded laterally and got involved in the coverage of the play.
Taylor's earning his money today. He's had 28 carries in this game. Why not? I'd give him the ball every time the way he's running. 3rd and 8 for the Giants on their 35. Sims passed, and he went backward. That was Johnny Perkins, who was trying to whirl and get to that yard farther stick on the yard chain and did not make it.
Watch Selman coming from the outside. The left tackle, the offensive left tackle, Coppins, is really doing a good job of blocking Selman on that last play.
Oh, it's 4th and 2. Dave Jennings, look at that average today, 48 yards. He's put him up, and he's booted him deep. Danny Reese, the safety man. Another good one. They'll let this one hit. And it is just went in. Touchback. Almost hit on the one and then skipped backward. The chip shot with the backspin on it that Hank Stram's famous for. Timeout. And our time in the game now goes 13:28. Giants ahead. John McKay, 4 national titles at USC, says, I know what coaching is all about. Players are what coaching is all about, right, Hank Stram?
Absolutely right. It's amazing how much better you coach with big, strong, fast players.
That's right. That sums it all up. You better have some players or you're not much of a coach. First down. Tampa Bay on their 20. Ricky Bell. He's hit. They get to him. That's Reese. Beasley Reese, the strong safety. And also Dan Lloyd, 54. This Lloyd has been excellent today.
Yes, he has been. And of course, the defense of the New York Giants has really played an inspired football game here this afternoon.
7-0. The Bears over Buffalo. Walter Payton has just scored on a short game on the 18-yard line of Tampa. Second down try. The Giants with a 3-man line today has been the surprise. They're a 4-3 team usually. The pass incomplete. Larry Mucker right over the middle. It'll be third down and 12. The Giants usually a 4-man line all the way. Open this game with 3 down linemen, 4 linebackers. A surprise defensive maneuver, and it is, I think, confused Tampa Bay.
Well, I think it disturbed their planning a little bit, plus the fact that it's tough to throw against 8 people on pass defense when they're only rushing 3 people. If you can't run, boy, you're in trouble.
Now they have 4 down linemen on the passing play for a better rush. Williams pass. That's complete. First down. Good catch there by Isaac Higgins of Southern University. The 12th catch of the year is a flag down and holding against Tampa Bay. They had a first down. It'll be called back.
I think they call it on Steve Wilson, the offensive center, number 50. Here we see him go.
Number 50, offense, holding, third down.
There you see the offensive center holding Tabor, number 80, the defensive lineman of the New York Giants.
Giants are very high on that young Tabor.
They should be. He's a fine-looking prospect.
That spots the ball back to the 9-yard line. Makes it third down and 22. Williams will be throwing against an 8-man secondary. It is intercepted. If he caught the ball in bounds, he did. It's the Giants' ball, and it's Terry Jackson who caught that one and then went out.
That's a very low percentage pass. Curt, he's looking left. Throws a long way outside in a double cover. You had to be a magician to get the ball that time to the outside receiver. Morris Owen came up with a good interception on the play, and the Giants have good field position.
First down, Giants on the Tampa Bay 31. Taylor hit. Quick charge by Aaron Brown, number 55 of Ohio State. He's playing in place of the injured Dewey Selman today. And he's been playing with abandon there.
Yes, he has. And that time they ran a counter play, faking to the fullback, giving it to Billy Taylor. But as you already mentioned, Aaron Brown really made a great tackle on the play and got good penetration.
Second down. 12. Giants. Tampa Bay's 33. Moorhead at the 30. They get to him quickly on that 3-4. It's hard to run wide against 4 linebackers sliding across that field on you.
And Cedric Brown that time, the free safety, really came across from the good angle, made a good tackle and a good hit on the play. I'm really surprised that the Giants haven't thrown more play-action passes on first down, Curt. They haven't done that hardly at all.
Houston now leading the Cardinals 14-7. Bill Gafe for the Lions recovered a fumble in the end zone with 6.5 minutes to go. The Lions are leading New England 17-14. Third down 8. Giants are ahead in this game 14-7. Throws it out to the back and too hard and wide to Billy Taylor.
David Lewis that time, 57, was blitzing on the play. He had to throw around Lewis, and for that reason he threw an errant pass and it fell incomplete.
Now the Giants had intercepted the pass. They had a first down, a chance to move on in. But the Tampa Bay defense very alertly stopped them, and now it's punt formation.
They're going to try a field goal, I'm sure.
Oh, it's going to be a field goal. 37-yard line. 47-yard attempt by Danilo, who's made only 1 out of 7 this year, over 30 yards. This kick's got the distance, and he has it! Danilo on a 47-yard field goal. Could be a big 3 points for the Giants. Their lead now is 17-7. And you watch the enthusiastic Giants go over to their bench. And we'll be back here with the kickoff right after this. Did Harry Truman say that?
Yes, he did. He also said you got to keep your feet in the fire.
Yeah.
He didn't say how long, though.
Canelo's kickoff. He booms it deep. Ragsdale will down it. Touchdown. Tampa Bay's ball first down on their 20-yard line.
You know, Curt, really, Tampa hasn't had good field position. On the last 6 possessions, they started on the 27, their own 15, their own 26, their own 28, their own 20, their own 20. It's a long way to go when you have to go 80 yards on a drive with this kind of a game, where the defense is playing as well as they're playing.
Tampa Bay punted 3 times in the third quarter and had a pass intercepted. And here they are. Let's see if young Doug Williams can bring them back and keep them in the undefeated ranks. Bell and Davis are the running back. Owens in motion. Williams. Boy, he got time. And he fired it right on target. Isaac Higgins couldn't hold on to it.
One thing for sure, boy, he's had a lot of time to throw the football. The pass protection with a 3-man rush has really been excellent most of the time. That time you watched his feet, Curt. He was a little nervous. He wanted to throw the ball right. Finally decided to throw it left. Really whistled it, but he just dropped the football. Isaac Higgins.
Second down, 10. Mucker in for Higgins. Tampa Bay has never beaten the Giants. They've lost it in 3 times. They'll play again this year. Medicated twice last year. They'll play twice this year to the rotating schedule of the NFL. He's right on target to Mucker. First down, Tampa Bay at the Tampa Bay 37. Otis McKinney wrapped up Mucker, but not till after Mucker got inside position on him.
You know, some of the problems here this afternoon really has been the fact that they've dropped some balls and Doug has thrown some balls poorly. But the great thing about Williams is the fact that he's got an awful lot of confidence in his own ability. And even though he might throw an errant pass, he's going to come right back and throw a strike just like he did on the last play.
17-7, Giants ahead, 10:20 to go. Tampa Bay, student body right to Ricky Bell. Bell brought down on the 40. This was a famous play, student body right or student body left for McKay for a long time at USC. He's had it here, and he's put it in here because he has a great rookie guard in Greg Roberts. Charlie Hanna converted from a defensive end to a right tackle, and Ricky Bell has been usually leading Eckwood on that play.
And the other thing on the play, really, Perry Carson hasn't heard about student body right or left because he came in there and made a great play.
He's a good one, that Harry Carson. He and Van Pelt played in the Pro Bowl off the same team. That's out to Mucker, and he can't hold on to it. Otherwise, he would have had a first down. Williams is very emotional back there. After a missed pass or completion, he'll jump up and down. He plays with a lot of emotion.
Yes, he's got a little cheerleader in him, but you like to see that enthusiasm. We talk about having to have a lot of little boy in you. You get to play football with a lot of fun and enthusiasm. There's a great illustration of it, Doug Williams.
How about the coaches?
They have to have it too, I'll tell you.
That's right.
Although a lot of times, you know, you feel like an old man fast, but you got to still have a lot of little boy in you.
Back they go. He stumbled. He lets that one go. Giles Up in the air, a flag was thrown down. Two Giants covering Giles.
Jimmy Giles pushing on the flag.
Giles trying to push off a defender. That's offensive pass interference, I believe, on Tampa Bay. And stumbling was a quarterback, Williams. He was falling backward as he let the ball go.
Offensive pass interference, number 88, refused.
Watch Williams go back into the pocket. Martin comes through there, number 75, makes him throw the ball, but he's got great wrist. He threw it up for grabs, and Giles was trying to make sure that the defensive backs didn't intercept the ball. That's what happened on the play.
They refused the penalty. It's 4th down for Tampa Bay, and they'll have to punt it. Lancers kick. Spirals. Jackson on the 20. He's covered. Goes down on the 25, and that's about all he could hope for. Rick Bonas from Nebraska, backup linebacker, went down to nail him. We'll be back with 9:15 remaining in this game, and the Giants ahead 17-7.
That's 46.
I just found out something I never knew. I knew John McKay was a halfback, played with Dutch Van Broecklyn at Oregon. Hank Stram says he also played with you at Purdue?
That's right. We played together at Purdue in 1946, and then John went west with the rest and played with Oregon.
Billy Taylor needs 7 more yards to have the best day for a Giant running back since 1970. Doesn't get it that time. Randy Crowder stuck an arm up, tripped him.
The Bucs have to force some kind of a fumble, get some kind of a big play to shrink the size of the field so they don't have to go 80 yards like they've been having to go on the last 3 or 4 occasions they've had possession in this game.
Taylor now has 136 yards. Ron Johnson against Dallas ran for 140 yards back in 1970. Second down 9. Sims on a draw. And the Giants hang right on the ground. There's Selman in again. It'll be 3rd down. Some of the fans yelling boo. The Eagles 28, Washington 17 in the 4th, because they're not putting the ball up in the air. They're all dying for a win here. They haven't got a win yet. They have a chance now, and yet they want them to throw.
Yeah, you can't give the game away. They're doing a good job of maintaining the plan they went into the game with, and they can't deviate from that plan, especially now when they're winning 17-7.
3rd down 8 for New York on their 27. They run the sweep. Here comes Taylor. Cut back. Gets to the 29, and that's all. And Richard Wood popped him there. It'll be 4th down. And now, interesting kicking situation coming up. 4th and 5. Will Tampa Bay will they be going in for the block, or are they going to peel back and try and get a long return?
I think probably they'll try to get some kind of return. They don't want to give them a chance, perhaps, to rough the kicker and then let them maintain possession of the football. I don't think they want to take that chance.
We're down to 7 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. Giants ahead by 10. A low kick could be a good return here. Nope. Had to take it high. Danny Reese being chased. He's down to the 24. For the Giants, we've heard how they've been such a poor team covering kicks. They've done it all right today.
That time he chose to go the wrong way. The thing was set up to the right. He ran to the left without any help over there. It didn't make any yardage.
Curt Gowdy and Hank Stram the last 7 minutes of this game. Why the Giants are ahead, one of the big reasons, they shut down Tampa Bay's running game today. The leading running team in the National Conference, averaging 185 yards a game rushing, has been stopped with under 100 so far. Play action pass. He unloads it, and is complete to Isaac Higgins, who steps out of bounds on his own 46-yard line.
Boy, he hums the ball, doesn't he? You see the RPMs, the rotation of the ball. Play action pass, faking from a play action to the deep back. Ricky Bell, the fake was not very good. Sets up nicely, and look at that ball spin to the outside nicely to Isaac Higgins. Beautiful execution on the play, 1st down.
Somebody told me they saw him throw a ball 80 yards in the air.
I believe it. I believe it.
1st down. Tampa Bay under 46. Ricky Bell fights his way through, gets to the 50, and that's it. And the tackle there by number 54. Dan Lloyd, he was aided by Harry Carson. Second down, 6 for the Bucks. 50-yard line.
With time slipping away like it is, they have to score, I think, get some kind of points on this drive, Curt.
Leading ball carrier for Tampa Bay has been Johnny Davis with 39 yards. Ricky Bell at 32. Eckwood stopped with only 7 yards today. The rookie sensation. Another play-action pass. There's a deep bomb to Hagan. Hagan's up. Can't get it. No flag. Covered by Jackson, who was right on him. Terry Jackson has intercepted a pass today. Covers the quickest player in the Tampa Bay team, Higgins.
This is the same play they fake. Bad faking again. Bad mesh between the halfback. He throws the ball deep, but Jackson gets a good jump on the ball. Really has no chance. They're fighting to try to make the catch, but Jackson covers him very well. It's tough to throw the ball over the top on Jackson right now. I think you can throw it in front of him, but you can't throw it behind him right at this stage of the game.
Third down, 6. Tampa Bay coming up on the 50-yard line. 6 minutes and 16 seconds to go. The Giants are ahead by 10 points. Short pass, first down. Ricky Bell came out of the backfield. And a good call by Tampa Bay.
Yes, sir. Very good call by John. Be good for him to come right back now again and throw the ball in front of one of those defensive backs on 1st and 10 here. You got to get something quickly, and that would be the best way to do it.
Line of scrimmage. There's the figures on Williams. 10 out of 28. Line of scrimmage. The Giant 40. They're in a slot left. Almost a double ring. Starting to ring a little bit. Another pass coming up. That one was incomplete. That was intended for Morris Owens. And here the quarterback got messed up. He was running inside, and the quarterback Williams threw outside.
Yes, but the guy that was open, really, the fake was up the middle of the fullback, Isaac Hagan, who's breaking wide open away from the fake. He never looked at him whatsoever. He looked to the outside of Morris Owens, threw it way behind him, but it looked like there was some indecision on the play.
Second down, 10 to go for Tampa Bay. 5.5 minutes remaining. 17-7. Giants lead. Owens in motion. Giles is wide open. The ball sailed right through his hand. And that time, Williams had a good touch on it. He did not fire the ball as hard as he had been. A nice feathery pass.
Yes, he laid it up there nicely. And the nice thing about it was, really, it wasn't the spiral. He kind of threw it into a rim. He could have caught it at each end, either end that time, Curt, had he had a chance to.
3rd and 10. Is raining here now. Umbrellas go up. Raincoats. 5:26 to play.
They cannot squander this opportunity. They have to get points on the board in this drive.
A very strong wind now at Tampa Bay's back. The pass. The Higgins is going to hold on there. Isaac Higgins is there. 4th down. 10 to go. Brad Van Pelt was back there trying to help that one. Look at him. A linebacker on a deep drop, Van Pelt.
That's the nice thing about that kind of coverage, and they were playing with 5 defensive backs. Isaac Higgins came into this game with 11 receptions. He's really been their most dependable and most steady receiver. He's dropped a couple of balls here today that would have been very important catches to keep drives alive in this contest this afternoon.
Van Pelt came to the Giants in the 2nd round. Duffy Daugherty once told me he's the greatest athlete he ever coached. The reason he went by the 1st round was because some of the clubs were fearful he would be a Major League Baseball pitcher, but he chose football instead. And, of course, Curt Gibson at Michigan State also chose baseball. He's an outfielder, All-American wide receiver last year. 4th and 10. The pass. High. Intercepted by the Giants on the 20. Linebacker brings it out. Brian Kelly. Now a gusting wind of about 30 miles an hour. It's raining. The Giants pick it off on 4th down. He might have batted it down and they would have had the ball out a little farther, but he didn't. He grabbed it and took it.
He threw that pass without any legs at all that time. Threw it all arm, was looking right, threw across his body like a lot of young quarterbacks will do, but he's got such a strong arm and such great wrist that sometimes they rely too much on that particular natural ability. He did that time and threw the ball very poorly.
Giants ball their 32-yard line with a first down. They'll try and use the clock and put this one away, hoping for a first down or two. Henry Moorhead stopped by Aaron Brown. Our first final today. The Eagles 28, Washington 17. The Eagles are 5-1. Washington is 4-2.
Well, they're flying high and they're playing extremely well.
Look at that rain now.
Giant fans don't feel it, though. They're so happy about this, the way this team has played here this afternoon.
Second down, 9. Scrimmage, the Giants 33. Again, they give it to Henry Moorhead. Did you notice how carefully he carried that ball, hugged in, both arms wrapped around it?
Yes, he's really got it in the vise, really trying to squeeze it. And a lot of the fans are evacuating the premises, Curt. A lot of empty seats here right now.
Third down, 9. They're jammed up in the aisles. They can't get to the undercover. Giants trying to protect the 10-point lead. 4 minutes to play. Taylor to the 40-yard line. And he now has over 140 yards. If this is not a penalty, that would be the most for any Giant ball carrier in a single game since Ron Johnson ran for 140 yards against the Cowboys back in 1970. But we have something coming up there.
Holding, 63 offense, refused, fourth down.
Well, he does have. They refused the penalty.
You know, this has really been a very even game, and to illustrate this particular point, usually in every game, each team has 13 possessions. So far in this game, the Giants have 14 possessions, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have 13. They'll wind up with 14 here, and there's a great illustration how evenly played and evenly matched these two teams have been today.
What a job of punting this man has done. 51-yard average today. They're going after him. He was rushed. He just got it away. Yeah, he got the hop for him. And it is dead on the Tampa Bay 20-yard line. He says, uh-oh, nearly got nicked that time. 3:35 remaining. 17-7, the Giants in the lead.
You know, you talk about it being a game of field position, and it really has been today. Tampa, on the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, have had possession on the -27, 15, -26, -28, -20, -20, -24, -20. It's hard to get touchdowns when you have to go that low.
I want to talk a bit about that minus to you fans. That means something for the insiders of the game. I'll have Hank explain it to you. With his pass. Giles, the tight end. He stopped at the 27. By minus, Hank, coach's language or in your own territory.
That's exactly right. Anytime you're on your own side of the 50-yard line, we refer to that as being minus. The minus area beyond the 50 is a plus area. And this is what I was relating to, and I'm glad you brought it up because maybe some fans around the country didn't realize what I was saying.
Second down, 3 to go for Tampa Bay. They're behind by 10 points with only 3 minutes to play. Rick Burns is in the backfield now. Johnny Davis is out. They're going after Williams. He shakes away. He throws a short one. It's incomplete. And he was trying to get the ball to Rick Burns, the running back. Brad Van Pelt was there and belted him. Third down, 3 to go for the Bucs.
Well, the New York Giants have really played extremely well most of the time all season long in this young season. They haven't been able to do much offensively. They've made a lot of mistakes, but in this game, they've kept the mistakes to a minimum and really have not given anything away in this game here today.
3rd and 3. first down. That's Rick Burns of Nebraska, a rookie. He runs it over. The flag goes down, too. Dropped the flag after the play. Personal foul against New York. They'll tack 15 onto that one. Tampa Bay will be in a lot better position.
Yes, they will be.
This puts the ball in the Giant 49. First down. Let's listen to what the call was about.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, 45 defense, first down.
Yeah, that's a good call on number 45, Alan Caldwell. The man was down, and then he went for him.
Yes, he gave him a little massage in the back of the neck with the elbow, which you can't do.
2:43 remaining. 17-7, Giants. First down for the Bucs. All the time in the world, and Burns dropped the ball. Burns really unhappy with himself. Williams has had 5 or 6 balls dropped on him today.
Yes, and they've come at critical times, and those big catches, especially on third downs, are the ones you have to make to keep the drives alive. And they've missed several of them in this contest here this afternoon.
We saw Hugh Culverhouse, the principal owner of the Tampa Bay. But he's been very fair with this club. When they lost 26 in a row, many owners I know would have panicked and changed coaches. But he kept the program going, never said a word, and it's paid off for him.
And anybody that deserves a lot of credit, Hugh Culverhouse really does for the success that this young team is enjoying now.
Flares it out to Burns. Burns to the 45, to the 42 of the Giants. The stop was made by Brad Van Pelt, number 10. Now it's 3rd and 3 for Tampa Bay. Time moving against them. Williams looking up at the clock.
If they could score here and kick an onside kick and recover it, they'd have a chance.
They always got a chance, it seems.
There it is.
He's out there. Higgins has the ball at the 20 to the 15. Higgins is down to the 10-yard line. He was wide open. They don't call time because the 2-minute warning has already been flagged.
Isaac Higgins runs an outside move and then runs right by the defensive back. Wide open, the ball is underthrown, or else it would have been a touchdown. You know, that time, Curt, it's amazing. Alan Caldwell, the right corner, number 45, took a sniff with the outside fake by Isaac Higgins. Just hung there, and he ran right by him in his own defense, which should never have happened.
First down, Tampa Bay on the 10-yard line. They're just short of the 10. A minute 56 to go. 17-7, New York. The pass, there he is, Giles, touchdown. Giles, Jimmy Giles scored. And now we'll have a very interesting last 1 minute and 50 seconds of this game.
That time they had a slot left, which means both outside receivers were on the left side of the ball. They had Jimmy Giles all by himself on the strong safety. Throws the ball on top, one-on-one coverage, makes a beautiful catch, touchdown, Tampa.
And that comes with 1 minute, 50 seconds to go. The 10th touchdown pass of the year for Doug Williams. He does not have a very good completion percentage. The touchdowns to completions are high. The kick by Donahue is up, and the kick is good. All right, the kickoff now will be interesting, and you'll be watching it when they come back here to Giant Stadium, and it's a different ballgame right now. The Giants now will probably put 9 men up front, and they'll be the players with the quickest feet and the best hands to try and cover an onside kick in case this is what happened. That's Neil O'Donoghue. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 men up there, the Giants do. There's the kick, and it is out of bounds. It was touched by a Giant. It went over 10 yards. It's a Giants ball. Kick went over 10 yards. This last touch by a Giant player out of bounds. Tampa Bay's arguing about it.
The ball was kicked just a little bit too hard, Curt. Just a little bit too hard. Had it been just a little softer, Jarris White would have had a chance, but
The
on the
kicking team
synthetic
was
turf.
offside. Penalty refused. New York ball. First down.
On synthetic turf, you have to really be careful because it really has a good bounce and a very lively ball. He hit it a little bit too hard.
The kicking team was offside. The Giants declined a penalty. They have the ball on the Tampa Bay 47 with only one mission: protect that three-point lead. They have been very conservative here in the second half. They had a 14-7 halftime lead. Coder's down for no gain. This midway in the third quarter, they've almost been stopped cold except for one brief drive.
You know, and that kind of a play, Phil Simms can fake handing off to the back and keep it himself. He'd make a lot of yardage because they're chasing very fast.
Tampa Bay just called that timeout. They have 2 left. New York has 3. 17-14 the Giants. Second down 10. Giants on the Tampa Bay 47. Coder again. Flips away. Almost a first down, not quite. East of the Tampa Bay 38, where he was pulled to the artificial surface by Richard Wood. Now the clock at 1:32 is stopped. Chuck Will, our producer today. Bob Daly directing. Michael Albanese, our associate director. Don McGraw, field operations engineer. Don Humo and D'Onofrio. Charlie, how are you? Tom Duffy, Elliott Gordon. Audio. Takes a big crew here. Anthony Filippi. 1:32 to play. We did not get the signal, but that timeout must have been against Tampa Bay. It was. They said Tampa Bay. So they're down to 1 timeout. The Giants, in the meanwhile, have a 3rd down and a short yard to go for a first down with a 3-point lead. Phil Simms, the rookie, has played all the way.
See if they go left.
Tampa Bay comes in and has called another timeout. They might have waited to see if there was going to be a measurement.
No, I don't think. I think they made it in pretty good shape. That time Kotar was way up ahead of the fullback, which meant that it looked like they were going left, but he destroyed the key and ran to the right. Did a good job of sticking his nose in there and making the yardage for the first down.
Now, when they got that first down, you saw those upraised arms in the Giant huddle. I think that the timeout was called before Tampa Bay rushed in there. First down, Giants. Very important for them to get that first down. At least 3 more shots to the ball. There's Coder again. They hit him, trying to jar the ball loose. Here's a timeout. That's the last timeout for Tampa Bay. No more for them. And the Giants, in their own huddle, feel they've got this with 1. So do their fans. Their fans are up on their feet. Some of them are left in the ring. Look at the fans on their feet here at Giant Stadium, applauding the team. It's about to score an upset here today and knock Tampa Bay out of the undefeated ranks.
But it'll still be keep the Tampa team in good position as far as their first place position in the Central Division of the National Football Conference. And so it won't have that much of a dramatic effect on the standing, and that's really what it's all about. It's very difficult to go undefeated, as everybody knows, in this league. The big thing is, the important thing is that you win your division, get into the playoffs, and they're in excellent position to do that, even though they lose this game this afternoon.
Kansas City has just defeated Cincinnati 10-7. Kansas City's now 4 wins and 2 losses. A surprising team. Simms just falls on the ball. The roar on this, of course, is from the famous fumble of last year when the Giants tried a handoff with the game sewed up against the Eagles. that the Eagles recovered and ran in for a touchdown here in the Meadowlands.
I'm sure that's why they're reacting and responding like they are right at this particular moment, because they are referring to what happened last year in that game against Philadelphia.
And the fans are on their feet. Boy, they've been starved for something hopeful here. They've seen a rookie, a kid, come in and quarterback the team. And they watched Billy Taylor gain more yards than any Giant runner since 1967. Every time Finn drops to the ground, he gets a roar. Ernie Coy gained the most yards, 160 and 67. Billy Taylor did it today. And the Giants have knocked Tampa Bay out of the unbeaten ranks. Everybody has lost at least one game now in the National Football League. The final score, the New York Giants 17 and the Tampa Bay Bucs 14. Curt Gowdy and Hank Stram hope you've enjoyed the game. The NFL on CBS. We'll be back after this word from your local station. Right after this game, of course, and when we leave here, the NFL on CBS will bring you the Dallas Cowboys versus the Minnesota Vikings. Most of you will be seeing this doubleheader game and consult your local listings. You don't have much time to consult your local listings. A surprise today, 17-14, Giants win. The surprise that Tampa Bay was beaten. They were favored here by anywhere from 4 to 6 points. A rookie quarterback was a big story today for the Giants. And a running back by the name of Billy Taylor gained 144 yards in the game, the most since any Giant runner since Ernie Coy against the Redskins back in 1967.
But the real big difference in the game, Curt, was the fact that the defense of the New York Giants played a super football game. They went into the game using, on most occasions, a 4-3 defense. This time they used a 3-4 and did a terrific job of containing a very potent offense of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Tampa team had the ball on 14 possessions, and of the 14 times they had to travel in the area of 80 yards 11 of the 14 times, and that tells the story of this game.
You'll recall the first time that Tampa Bay lined up in scrimmage, I looked out there and I saw those 3 down linemen with the 2 men standing up. It was really a 5-man front. I was very surprised because the Giants are noted as a 4-down lineman team.
Well, you know, the amazing thing about it was really that I talked to the coaches, the Tampa coaches, and they were a little concerned because they thought perhaps they might see a 3-4 here this afternoon. They mentioned that to me. Bill Nelson specifically did, and they see it so much in practice with their own team that I thought maybe it wouldn't be nearly as much of a problem as it seemed to be here this afternoon.
All right, Hank, we'll be down in Tampa Bay next Sunday to see if they can bounce back against New Orleans.
Well, this team is a very good team defensively. They're still in a #1 spot in their division, and I'm sure they'll bounce back and do a good job next week.
Thank you all for looking in. The NFL on CBS. We'll be back after this word from your local station.